This is Job Frank Chakaza with the news on Zodiac. The headlines this hour. A group of diploma in law holders question Malawi Law Society's move to contest a proposal by the Legal Aid Bureau for increased legal protection for the poor. Sededi writes Police Inspector General on alleged abuse of power by officers in Cholo and Mulanje. Some unemployed nurses accuse government of hiring unlicensed nurses from the July walk-in interviews. And in sports, Flames need over 1.4 billion kwacha for travel and accommodation in the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Now the news in detail. A group of people holding diploma in law argues that the decision by the Malawi Law Society to contest a proposal by the Legal Aid Bureau for increased legal protection for the poor and vulnerable is intended to stand in the way of access to justice for the poor. Spokesperson of the group, Brian Mjenga, argues that the position of the Malawi Law Society could easily be seen as a ploy to simply hedge lawyers against increased competition. But legal expert Professor H. Kanyongolo has cautioned, saying allowing diploma holders to represent people in court could easily be risky for the clients. This report, filed by Nafe Mlamba.
In a statement signed by spokesperson for the diploma law community, Brian Mjenga, the community maintains that a diploma in law holder from a recognized institution can represent clients in subordinate courts. This has been said few days after the Malawi Law Society sought court intervention in the matter, in which paralegals want the Legal Aid Act to be amended so that they can be representing clients at subordinate and high courts. According to Mjenga, the decision by the Law Society is an infringement to justice.
For us, the diploma law holders, we took advantage to say no. I think if we were to change the laws, the law that must be changed is not only the Legal Aid Bureau Act, but we must also change the Legal Education and Legal Practitioner Act so that it should allow everybody who has qualified or who has the diploma of law to qualify regardless whether he's working for Legal Aid Bureau or is working with some organization.
MLS has been opposing the amendment of the Legal Aid Act despite the Legal Aid Bureau justifying the move, saying there is a backlog of over 23,000 cases, but the Bureau only has 25 lawyers and 36 paralegals. However, legal expert Professor H. Kanyongolo fears allowing diploma holders without adequate experience would be a risky decision to make.
I would really say that's a bit of a dangerous thing to do, because I think anybody can get a diploma from anywhere and you can call anything a diploma in law. So I think to say that any person with any diploma in law from anywhere should be allowed to practice, I think would be a rather reckless move.
Judge Mike Tembo from the High Court in Blantyre is expected to review the matter on October 7, 2021.
And Paralegal Service Advisory Institute PASI has called for the strengthening of the informal justice system to help clearing a backlog of court cases as well as decongesting prisons in the country. Speaking in Doha on Tuesday during a media training, PASI National Director Clifford Msiska said by empowering the system, the organization managed to facilitate the withdrawal of about 56,000 minor cases from the courts across the country last year, which were later settled by village mediators. We have a report by Winston Kaimira.
During a training for reporters and a panel discussion on roles of paralegal officers held in Doha, stakeholders emphasized that the country's criminal justice system is going through challenges in areas that include funding, involvement of paralegal officers on provision of legal support, and strengthening of the informal justice system were some of notable solutions which they said can assist to address the challenges. Paralegal Service Advisory Institute past National Director Clifford Nsisha said, for instance, a total of 56,000 cases were withdrawn from courts last year and settled through the informal justice system in a project being implemented by his organization. He said PAS has trained over 3,000 village mediators who assist in provision of justice.
We have carefully trained community paralegals whom I call village mediators. When I'm saying they are carefully trained, what I mean is or they have been exposed to human rights. They are aware of the 8 phases of mediation.
High Court Judge Zondi Mvula concurred with Msisha, saying some cases that are taken to court can best be handled through the informal justice system.
The law says you can divert. There's a diversion is allowed under Section 161 of the Criminal Procedure and Evidence Code. So not every case which comes before a police officer or before a court, you have to sit and follow the strict letter of the law. Because sometimes just a small misunderstanding. So we can divert as a court to say maybe go and resolve it.
The judge also joined other stakeholders in commending roles paralegal officers play in the justice system. This is Winston Kaimira reporting for Zodiac in Lilongwe.
The High Court in Blantyre on Monday declared unconstitutional, invalid, and quashed President Lazarus Chakwera's decision to reinstate Noah Dalasi Chasafali as Senior Chief Ngabu of Chikwawa. Judge Mandala Mambulasa instead ordered that defendants, who are Chakwera and Dalasi Chasafali, pay costs in the matter. Lawyer for the applicant, Michael Goba Chipeta, says his client, Basirore Dalisoni Mawalu, whose name was submitted for installation as Senior Chief in Ngabu, is next in line. Alex Panda speaks to Goba Chipeta.
First, that the appointment by the president of Mr. Noah Dalasi Chisafali Ngabu. This appointment was done in around September 2020. Has been declared unconstitutional, invalid, and has been quashed. So that means that appointment is as good as non-existent. But prior to that, the president had appointed my client, Mr. Bastole Dalison Makwalo, as Senior Chief in Ngabu. So what that means is that he is now the Senior Chief as per the appointment that was made prior to the appointment that has been quashed. My client, when he was informed last year in September that the other person has been appointed by the president, he was surprised because no reasons were given to him in writing. No reasons were given to him as to why he should cease to be Senior Chief in Ngabu when the same office of the president had appointed him as a Senior Chief in Ngabu. So now he feels like rule of law has taken its course, and he feels justice.
And the Malawi Human Rights Commission, MHRC, says will challenge an injunction that Karibu Academy obtained restraining the commission from proceeding with investigations and subsequent release of the report. The commission launched the investigation into an allegation that a teacher at the academy was sexually harassing a female student. While the investigation was underway, mother to the student released a press statement which said that the allegation was a blatant lie by her daughter. MHRC, however, vowed to proceed with the investigation despite the statement. Now, the Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiatives has given the Inspector General of Police 14 days to institute investigations into allegations of assault on some citizens in the 2 districts of Mulanje and Cholo. SDEDI Executive Director Sylvester Namiwa alleges that police are using force to deal with citizens accused of vandalizing property of estates. National Police spokesperson James Kadadzera has reacted over the allegations by advising SDEDI to report any suspicion of professionalism to Malawi Police Services Professional Standards Unit. Chimwe Gadata reports.
The ultimatum, according to SDEDI Executive Director Sylvester Namiwa, follows a spate of alleged assault on citizens in the 2 districts accused of stealing property belonging to one of the ST estates. Namiwa has asked the Inspector General of Police to institute investigations into the allegations.
We don't condone faith. However, we should, the police should learn to treat any suspect as a suspect until proven guilty by a competent court of law.
But in a written response, National Police spokesperson James Kadadzera asked SDEDI to follow proper channels, including lodging a complaint with Malawi Police Services Professional Standards Unit or seek intervention of the Independent Police Complaints Commission. Early this month, one person died in Cholo after he was allegedly assaulted by guards of one of the estates, Sayama, on suspicion he stole estate property. This is Chimwemwe Padata for Zodiac.
The Malawi Human Rights Commission MHRC has urged government to make a guided decision when making its stand on whether COVID-19 vaccination should be compulsory or not. MHRC spokesperson Kate Kujaliwa has said the Commission sent an advisory note to the Presidential COVID-19 Task Force where it observed that the issue revolves around protection and respect of individual rights. While some employees have already been turned back from their workplace, Ministry of Health spokesperson Adrian Chikumbe maintains that government's stand on the issue remains that the administration of the vaccination is not compulsory. We have a report filed by Western Kuta. Well, we don't seem to have that report for now. Moving on with the news, stakeholders at a joint sector review in the health sector meeting, which is underway in Lilongwe, have expressed worry that the Ministry of Health has failed to procure family planning methods for over a year now, despite resources being allocated towards it. Parliamentary Committee on Health Chairperson Dr. Matthew Zungwali and a representative of civil society, Maziko Matemba, noted that over 200 million kwacha allocated to procurement of family planning methods has not been used in last year's financial year, a development they said is crippling the desire to control population boom in the country. While admitting the challenge, Deputy Minister of Health Chrise Kalamula-Kanyasho said the failure has been due to protracted procurement processes which are being addressed. Andrew Viana has filed a report. We do apologize for that. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
If there's one thing that all soaps do, it's wash. From buckets to basins, bathrooms to streams, and everything in between.
All soaps wash.
Yes, but Protex is different. Its reinvented formula with flaxseed oil boosts your skin's natural anti-germ defenses by 10 times more, protecting you against 99.9% of germs. So what keeps us healthy?
Protex!
Good health starts here.
Malawi 2063 Ufika 2063 kale Wokomera aliyensi Achinyamata tikwira ne manja Tukula Malawi Achinyamata tikale patsugo Tukula Malawi Malawi Wozimira paeka Malawi Wokomera aliyensi Malawi 2063 kusinda dziko lathu mukomera aliyense.
Mipando ya sofa, dining set, mabedi, coffee table zisamakhale ngati zolandira kuli kufanana ayi. Ku Davina Furnitures amapanga mipando, masofa set, dining set mmene inuyo eni yake mukufunira, podziwa kuti anthufe timakhala nkukonda kosiyanasiyana. Awuzeni a Davina Furnitures akupangireni zinthu zolongosoka, anthu ena asirire. Davina Furnitures ili pafupi ndi Gateway Mall, kungoloka msewu wochokera ku Mchinji roundabout ku Lilongwe. Ino amaloji, mahotel ndi onse okonda zinthu zabwino, chitani telefoni ku nambala iyi. Davina Furnitures 0999 002 707.
UNICAF University, September to October 2021 intake. Special scholarships available at UNICAF University for bachelor, master's, and doctoral degree programs. UNICAF University is accredited nationally by the NCHE and internationally by the British Accreditation Council in the UK. Enroll for internationally recognized degrees at a fraction of the cost. Feel safe knowing that your online studies with UNICAF University will not be disrupted by measures for the pandemic. From enrollment to graduation, everything runs smoothly online. Don't miss this golden opportunity. This offer is valid until the end of October 2021. So apply today and get a free tablet when you register and pay the required deposit. WhatsApp 0993 907 002 or go to www.unicafuniversity.ac.mw to find out more.
You're watching the news here on Zodiac. As we continue, let's look at the headlines. A group of diploma in law holders question Malawi Law Society's move to contest a proposal by the Legal Aid Bureau for increased legal protection for the poor. Sededi writes Police Inspector General on alleged abuse of power by officers in Cholo and Mulanje. Some unemployed nurses accuse government of hiring unlicensed nurses from the July walk-in interviews. And in sports, Flames need over 1.4 billion kwacha for travel and accommodation in the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Now, moving on with the news. Some unemployed nurses and midwives in the country have accused the Ministry of Health of allegedly recruiting unlicensed nurses from walk-in interviews that the ministry conducted in July this year. National Organization of Nurses and Midwives in Malawi, NOM President Shouts Semenza, has since quizzed the ministry to clear the matter. The ministry's spokesperson, Adrian Chikumbe, says the ministry is investigating the matter. Karen Chinemberi and Andrew Manea have filed this report. I do apologize, we're not able to bring you that report. Still on health, Christian Health Association of Malawi, CHAM, says it is finalizing processes to migrate all its employees' database in government payroll for them to start receiving salaries from Capitol Hill beginning next month. Spokesperson for CHAM, Michael Piri, says the migration is expected to resolve some challenges experienced in CHAM health facilities, such as delayed salaries due to financial hiccups. Details in this report by Ronex Chiwanda.
In November last year, the Christian Health Association of Malawi, in conjunction with the Ministries of Finance and Health, jointly conducted a headcount exercise to ascertain the number of employees in CHAM facilities before migrating the payroll into government's management information system. The migration of CHAM payroll into government system is viewed as a remedy to end salary delays in its facilities, since employees will be receiving direct from government coffers. Spokesperson for CHAM, Michael Piri, has told us CHAM Secretariat and the Ministry of Health have agreed to migrate the payroll next month.
The process going towards the end. Anytime soon the migration will be done, and we're in liaison with the Ministry of Health, and we are told that beginning the next month of October, the migration will be done.
Meanwhile, health rights activist George Jobe, who is also executive director for Malawi Health Equity Network, MEHEN, has hailed the move, saying it will motivate the health workers since there will be no salary delays.
This is a good development because when you have many steps or layers, things are very likely to be delays. But in this case, we think that CHAM workers will be paid in time because it will be direct from government to them rather than passing through CHAM again.
In 2020, concerned CHAM health workers paid the Secretariat to address salary delays and pension disparities with government health workers, among others.
Away from health stories now, a political analyst has implored Malawi Congress Party, MCP, and United Democratic Front, UDF leadership to demonstrate principles of good governance by filling key positions as mandated by their own constitutions. The analyst George Piri advises leadership of the two parties to respect their party constitutions, which empower them to fill senior positions within a specified time frame. But MCP spokesperson Reverend Maurice Mundhali and UDF Secretary General Kandi Badambo say Malawians must exercise patience as the two parties are still pondering on the replacement. We have a report by Blessings Kangombe.
Political analyst George Piri says he's not surprised with governing Malawi Congress Party MCP and opposition United Democratic Front UDF delays to fill vacant positions within the party. Piri argues that with both parties' constitution clearly indicating that vacancies have to be filled, the parties know exactly what to do.
What they need to do is to obey their constitutions and just make the appointments. And it doesn't need even much time for them to do that. It is even less costly because the executive can meet and make the appointments and announce them. That's all what the political parties can do, both UDF and MCP.
MCP spokesperson Reverend Mollis Muntari is upbeat his party will make the replacement, hence asked for patience among Malawians.
The Malawi Congress Party is not just wanting to flout its own constitution by delaying this matter unnecessarily. We will soon decide on how and when we're going to do that exercise. And it's not just that exercise. There are several other issues the party is looking at.
On the other hand, UDF Secretary General Kandi Badambo says they are still consulting with party structures before making a final decision on the matter.
Short of imposing a person to occupy that position, we are still doing some consultations when the regional committees can meet, and then they will choose themselves who they think among the NEC members can fill the position that was left vacant.
MCP is yet to fill the positions of first vice president as well as director of research, which were created following the death of its holders, late Sidik Mia and late Linkson Bereganyama in January this year. While UDF is expected to fill the position of its vice president for the South, which its previous holder, Lance Mbewe, resigned in May this year on what he called personal grounds.
In business, some cotton farmers in Salima have decried the upward adjustment of cotton seed on the market, saying this has potential to affect production quantity again this year. One of the farmers, Moses Tamba, told Zodiak on Monday that they had suggested to Cotton Council of Malawi to lobby for inclusion of cotton in the AIP to encourage more farmers grow the crop and meet market demand, but their plea has not been heard. Joseph Maziza's father's report.
For the past 2 years, cotton production has dwindled in the country, which farmers attribute to low prices offered on the market. One of the cotton farmers in Salima, Moses Tsamba, has bemoaned another challenge, high cost of seed, arguing that it is a major setback to most rural farmers as they cannot afford the seed.
From 22,000 previously, and now it's selling at 24,000, which is still a challenge to a local farmer who cannot manage to buy at that amount. We requested through Cotton Council to include the cotton seed into subsidy, but it seems they have not included it. So we are still having that challenge. Obviously, they haven't included it because we could have heard by now.
Malawi Cotton Council Chief Executive Officer Cosmas Rwanda said they are looking into the matter to cushion the farmers from the exorbitant seed prices.
Yeah, cost of seed, yes. Normally, I think we are facing problems because the seed has had to be imported from India, and freight charges and other shipping costs have also contributed towards the cost of the seed, which is relatively very expensive on the part of farmers. We are trying as much as possible to discuss with GINAs to see if GINAs can support farmers on a loan basis so that they are not pressured to buy seed on cash this year, so we increase the hectares that is going to cotton.
Cotton is believed to have potential of making significant contribution to the country's economy, with tobacco facing numerous challenges globally. Reporting for Zodiac from Salima, I am Joseph Mazizi.
In sports, the Football Association of Malawi says its budget for the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifiers will soar beyond 1.4 billion kwacha due to travel and accommodation costs if they are to fulfill all away fixtures. Chiwembe's concern follows CAF ban of venues which Ivory Coast and Mozambique had registered as their home. Meanwhile, Mozambique has opted to play their home fixtures in Morocco, while Ivory Coast are yet to confirm their new home. FAM General Secretary Alfred Gunda says extra funding will also be required to supplement the 1.4 billion kwacha which was budgeted for the Flames qualification campaign. Well, that's about what we had time for in this news edition. Before we go, a look at the headlines. A group of diploma in law holders question Malawi Law Society's move to contest a proposal by the Legal Aid Bureau for increased legal protection for the poor. Steady writes Police Inspector General on alleged abuse of power by officers in Cholo and Mulanje. Some unemployed nurses accuse government of hiring unlicensed nurses from the July walk-in interviews. In sports, Flames need over 1.4 billion kwacha for travel and accommodation in the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Visit our website zodiacmalawi.com for more news. My name is Joab Frank Chakaza. Thanks for watching.
Mukuru yakwanitsa zaka 17 ndipo chaka chino tikukondwerera makasitomala athu Mukuru